Hey everyone, as we wrap up 2024, I wanted to share a different kind of year-end review with you. And it's not one of those highlight reels where everything's perfect and revenue only goes up, because this is so not one of those videos. 2024 was actually a year of embracing what I call enough in my business. And honestly, it wasn't even my biggest revenue year, nor was it my biggest year for growth at all. But it was the year that I gained immense clarity around what matters in building my version of a tiny but mighty business. This was also a year of deep reflection for me, really getting clear and questioning who I really want to be as a coach, how I want to show up in my business in 2025, and how to do it in a way that really honors the season of my life and what's really important to me in my personal life as well as my business life. So I'm excited to share these realizations with you today, and hoping that that can also help you in reimagining or thinking differently about your own business journey. Stay tuned. Now, before I go into my 3 biggest realizations for 2024, I want to give you a quick little update about how my business is evolving. Now, a lot of you know me as the coach who helps corporate professionals to repurpose their skills and experience into a meaningful business they love. But this year, I realized there's a bigger message emerging. It's not just about escaping corporate, because it's so easy to bring a corporate mindset into building another cage as an entrepreneur, right? Because what's the point of leaving your 9 to 5 if you're going to be working 24/7 after, right? So this realization is something I'm really excited about, and I'm going to share more of it as the new year kind of comes onto the horizon for us. And it's called the Tiny Business Revolution. Now, I started actually a program called the Tiny Business Revolution for entrepreneurs that were kind of growing their business in their first 2 years and up. Okay, but what I really realized is that the method and the philosophy of the Tiny Business Revolution is really a movement to do less in business and to actually be creating a right-sized business that really fits every individual according to their lifestyle choices, their values, any other important priorities that they have in their lives. And this message is what's going to be the overarching theme for my business and my brand going forward. Because what I'm really excited to do going forward and excited to help my clients discover is really identifying what's truly enough for them. Enough money, enough clients, enough time, so that their business really feels like home. And supporting them to find the simplest way to be profitable without doing all the things in business, right? Because I think that's how I define true freedom, right? The ability to create that freedom through the metrics that really matter to your life, how you enjoy your work, how you structure, how you deliver your work to clients when you work, and how to ensure you get to those revenue goals, doing the essential things that are in alignment with your strengths and your goals, and not just to build a bigger business for the sake of it, right? Or just to grow for growth's sake, but to really be building something that is cozy, that really feels right for you, and that's going to look different for everyone else. So one of the things that you'll see different in this YouTube channel and in my content is the framework for how we built that, whether you are starting a business for the first time, which is such an important place to actually do it right so that you don't burn out down the road in the future of your business, and also for people in that stage of growing a business and feeling like they're doing everything and feeling more exhausted, working more hours than they ever did before, and then trying to tap out, right? When actually there's a different way to do business, a different approach that might be more in alignment with how you want to live and work. So I hope that you'll be able to stay tuned for those changes, and also be able to discover new education, new resources that I'm going to be filming more in this video channel to help you create your own tiny business revolution. Okay, so one of my number 1 realizations of this year for me is realizing how important it is for me to stay in my own lane of what my genius zone is, and not to be distracted about what other people are offering or what other people have said the marketplace needs and how I to adapt to those needs, and not being afraid to really double down on the things that I know are more in alignment with the way I want to work and how I deliver my value and expertise. So one of my biggest realizations this year is admitting to myself I'm not a course creator. I'm a premium deep dive coach, right? So earlier this year, one of my goals was to develop or repurpose some of my existing offers into smaller courses in a goal of expecting like more leads, more students, more clients to buy lower price point stuff, right? And I'm not saying I disagree with some intro products. I absolutely think there's some great ways of how people have come into my larger coaching programs from doing an intro product. But when I started to think about reaching more people, I think one of the distractions I had was sort of seeing what my own peers were doing and colleagues in the coaching industry were doing and wanting to emulate, right? Offering more to more people. And I remember when I was starting the process of gathering my courses to be able to do that, I remember having this sinking feeling like, oh, I really don't think that's really my best work, right? Because the real value that I give is about intimacy, personalization, and that high touch value that if you look at all my feedback forms and surveys from past clients, this is one of the reasons why they were really successful with me versus spending more money on another course they couldn't complete on their own. But really having that accountability and that deep dive flavor, right, that I bring to the table, which transformed or created bigger transformation for my clients. So owning this truth really changed everything because it helped me to not try to mirror what other people are doing out there. It didn't waste my time in creating a bunch of stuff that I didn't even feel excited to sell. Even though I almost went down the pathway of creating multiple mini courses to scale and reach more people, when I really listened to my instincts, I realized that I just thrive on deeper, meaningful work, personal attention to my clients. I wanted to give more attention, not less, because I know how much people can succeed when they have someone like me in their corner. And then my sweet spot is really premium, high-touch offers. And those are my kind of clients that would pay for that, right? I won't appeal to everybody, but if I really wanted to make the kind of money I want to make with the least amount of clients and the most flexibility of my schedule, and expertise of how my expertise can be given in the most valuable way, staying true to that lane of my zone of genius was an important agreement to myself I had to make this year. So I rather kind of scale down and go deep than go scale up and dilute my impact, right? And when I thought about that, it makes so much sense for me to continue enhancing my current programs and directing those programs towards the right and ready clients rather than expanding my offerings and reducing, right, or diluting the impact that I can have with my work. Now, that might sound counterintuitive, right? Do less instead of more. Maybe, but it really felt right for someone like me who values their time freedom, who values, right, like long-term clients instead of masses of an audience. And yeah, checking in with myself, with my nervous system, intuitively, somatically, all of that felt really right for my decision this year. My second biggest realization is the power of doing less but better. Kind of links to my first realization of staying in my own lane of my genius zone is again having those constraints of like, what would make me feel joyful to show up for my business every single day. So at the end of every year, right, which is where we're at right now, I'm also planning for the new year. And what I really realized is there's only some key things that I do in my business and act on that actually bring me the results that I want. And to double down on those results, right, rather than think up of more strategies or more complicated, complex tactics to market or grow my business, right? And this year really confirmed something I've been feeling in my bones all along, which is that doing less but doing it exceptionally well creates more impact than trying to do everything. Now, I know easier said than done because I think in the world that we live in, it's very distracting to see what everyone else is doing and wanting to jump on that bandwagon and hope that those tactics really work for us as well. But one of the biggest things I've learned over a decade of being in my business, every time I stay off my own lane and go somewhere else and do a bunch of stuff that feels shitty to me, or feels forced to me, it never really works out because it's not my authentic self, right? So this year, choosing and consciously choosing like intentional things to do things like streamline my offers to solely only work on deep dive one-on-one clients. That brought in more revenue than it was to create smaller, tinier offers, lower end offers, and having more clients, but more effort, right? Because I did that, I was able to actually work with some incredible clients that I was able to take to a place that gave them better results, gave them more opportunity to work even more with me because of the attention of that intimacy and the premium offering that I chose to double down on, right? So I witnessed incredible transformation, in one of my one-on-one products called Sweet Spot Sessions, which I do every single year, of helping people find what is their right business idea and what's that model of work that can look really perfect for them based on who they are today. And that actually really led people, because of the deep dive work, to be really clear about what they're building. And then that helped me to also enroll them into larger offerings to be able to implement that model into action, right? By working longer term with me. And I had less clients to juggle, right? And it was a very predictable income from a specific client, right? That was willing to go the distance with me. And those were the kind of clients I really love working with. I love working with people that take action, want accountability, willing to do the work. And I think sometimes with people that just take a DIY course, those are the people that may not have as much motivation to get it done today, right? And so just being able to firmly say, these are the types of clients that I want to work with, this is the way that I work that's going to garner the best results, that actually gave me a lot of peace to really focus on one or two offerings this whole year. I found peace in not needing to be everywhere to market to everyone, right? And then it created real space for me to connect with the right and ready clients and do more with my existing clients rather than finding new clients constantly for new products. The third biggest realization for me this year is realizing I get to decide what's enough for me this year. So when I started my business this year, I had a lot of big goals about doing more, reaching more people, having more stuff, more products to sell. And then when I had that realization, right, of that doesn't make me feel good, that doesn't feel aligned with the future business I really want to build, what I really also realized is that I needed some spaciousness in my schedule, my calendar, my time this year to reimagine what I want my work to look like and to evolve my own business model. So in the beginning of this video, I talked a little bit about what's enough financially for you, right? And for me, enough clients, enough money, enough time. And one of the things that I concluded for this year was that I wanted this year to give me that time to understand really truly what I'm intentionally building, which meant that I was willing to take a little bit of a pay cut this year. And actually this year was not a big revenue year for me. If anything, it was not my lowest revenue year, but definitely probably about 40% less than my revenue last year. Okay. And that was okay because you know what? Here's what that decision helped me to do. I have a good and better best revenue goal. Good is just maintaining my life, maintaining my expenses in my business and letting me live my life, right, in an ideal way. Nothing crazy, right? Just gives me what I need for now. Not super wealthy and rich, but what do I need currently just to survive in my life and in my business? So then I have a best goal, which is okay, if I'm reaching that good goal to the next goal, maybe I want to afford a team or I want to afford more help in my business or even something that's coming up for my partner and I, building a house, right, in Bali, which is what we're doing for the new year. So when I decided that year 2024 I'm just going to reach my good goal because it allows me some space to take less clients. I'm still surviving in my life, right? I'm still able to pay the bills, have a roof over my head, have food on the table, nothing fancier than that, right? But it allowed me to maintain that profitability, first of all, by just working 20 to 25 hours a week, which is great. And then it gives me space to work on my business, right? Which was an important decision I needed to make this year. It also meant that I can keep my minimalist approach to how I want to market and grow my business. Because if I'm spending time working on the business and keeping my head that way, I still need to maintain the day-to-day stuff in my business. But because I come at my marketing with a more minimalist lens, I didn't have to do a whole lot to market because I've set those foundations, in play already, right? So that meant that I'm just focusing on my YouTube channel, which is what brings in new clients to my subscriber list, and then my email. newsletter audience, which is how people go from my YouTube videos and then commit to more of a weekly and monthly repeated, right, emails from me because they are interested in what I have to offer, right? Whether it's my wisdom, my insights, or whenever they're ready to buy something, they'll be in the know by being my email audience. So those were the only two tools that I really focused on this year and minimized everything to just focus on that so that things still felt, that I could have some recurring audiences, right? My email list still continued growing, even though I didn't work that much, right? Because of those systems that I put in place, some of them automated, some of them with some personalization in it from me, but it was low impact, low effort marketing strategies, right? That allowed me to continue to earn enough for my business this year while giving me the space to work on bigger growth, right? Strategies I needed time for in my business. So actually this year, funny enough, even though my revenue was less, my email audience really grew. And that was great to see that all these things that I've set up over the years can still be bringing me a very healthy amount of traffic that I need in my business. So the interesting thing is, despite a lower revenue, I felt more aligned with my values because I wasn't just getting busy doing a bunch of stuff and forcing myself to do the things, right? It showed me that success for me this year wasn't just about the number, but it's about that, that intentional way that I can design my business to meet me where I'm at today, right? And still survive, still thrive, right? But not having to, right, push constantly when things didn't feel aligned at the moment. So having that space to breathe, having that space to just decide what's enough this year for me allowed me to actually do bigger things for what I need to do in 2025. That's way more in alignment with how I feel I want my business to be representative of me and how I feel I want to enjoy my business in the new year. So in conclusion, all these little epiphanies that I had this year really also helped me to realize how important it is to continuously to be re-editing, reimagining, right, and adapting our business models to really suit what feels good for us in business every single day. And you know what's beautiful about choosing a tiny business model? It gives you the freedom to design success on your terms, whatever your version of success really means to you, whether it's having time for family, space for your own creativity, or if you're doing what I did this year, which is creating a bit more spaciousness, time, white space in the calendar to work on bigger picture things in your business that's actually going to help you enjoy your business more down the road, right? So success for every year can look very different for everyone. Don't distract yourself with all the other goals of what other people are trying to do to grow more, be bigger, whatever those things are. Really think about what your business needs to feel nurtured, what you feel to feel nourished as an entrepreneur, and what's going to help you show up more excitedly and with more enthusiasm for your business in 2025. So to everyone watching, thank you so much for being a part of my journey this year, being a part of my 2024. I'm really excited to offer more interesting wisdoms, my own journey, all the good, bad, and the ugly of my own decisions that I'm going to be making next year. But I'll really love to hear from you after hearing my own recap video of the year. What is enough meaning for you in 2025? What's enough in your business that you would love to aim for that feels just good to you? Right? A metric that you believe you want to measure for your own success. And leave me a little comment underneath this video. I would love to hear your thoughts for it and reply to you and root you forward for your new year as well. And remember, as a final note, your success doesn't have to look like anyone else's, but it is important for you to be intentionally designing the work and the life that you feel excited for in the new year. Thanks so much for joining me. See you next year.